Good morning. My name is Katie and I am from Area K, Region 97, San Diego County Office of Education, Chapter 568. Good morning, everybody. I am an outdoor education specialist at Cuyamaca Outdoor School for my job. So what I'm used to doing is taking our sixth graders from San Diego and Imperial County out into the mountains of Cuyamaca Rancho State Park and looking for animals, learning about plants, and learning about the science about and how nature works. So today I'm going to read you a story that is called Who Pooped in the Park? And it's about learning about animals by what they leave behind. And in science we have a word for poop. It's called scat. So if you ever see poop on the ground, you can be a scientist and call it scat. So here we go. Who Pooped in the Park? Written by Gary D. Robinson and illustrated by Elijah Brady Clark. Who pooped in the park? Dad, I have to go to the bathroom. Michael squirmed in the back seat. We'll be at our campground in just a little while, said Dad. We're in Grand Canyon National Park. He's just nervous, said Michael's sister. He thinks a mountain lion is gonna eat him. She growled grrr at Michael and made her fingers look like claws. Stop it, Emily, said Mom. Oh, moms don't talk like that. Stop it, Emily, said Mom. Nobody's getting eaten by anything. Michael was very excited about the trip, but Emily was right. He was nervous. He had just read a book about big cats and mountain lions scared him. He was afraid that a hungry mountain lion would eat just about anything, maybe even a boy. I am kind of scared of mountain lions, admitted Michael. Don't worry, Dad told him. Mountain lions tend to stay away from people. Besides, we're going to show you how to learn all about them without ever getting close. Here's our campsite. Let's set up the tent. Then we can go for a walk and I'll show you what I mean, Dad said. Michael was awfully worried about mountain lions, but he tried not to show it. Let's hurry, said Emily. I want to see some animals. Once the tent was up, the whole family went for a hike. Emily started to complain before they even left the campground. I haven't seen any animals yet. Maybe there aren't any here. Sure there are, said Dad. Let's see what we can learn about them from their sign. Sign? Said Michael. You mean like a sign at the zoo? And here are some animals with some signs, like Michael was imagining. A mule deer, a mountain lion, and a great horned owl. Not quite. I'm talking about signs that the animal has been around, Dad explained. See all the bark stripped off that tree? That's a sign of a porcupine having its lunch. Look around at the base of the tree, and I bet we'll find more signs. Michael was starting to get excited. Look, I found tracks. Yes, said Mom, those are porcupine tracks. See the marks where he dragged his tail behind? And if you look closely, you can too. And there's porcupine scat over there, said Dad. Scat? Asked Emily, looking a little less grumpy. What's scat? It's the word hikers and trackers use for animal poop, Dad replied. Scientists use that word too. See, Michael, said Dad, we don't have to get close to an animal to learn about it. Instead of a close encounter of the scary kind, we'll have a close encounter of the poopy kind. Everybody laughed, and Mom made a gross-out face. Dad, Mom, look over here. I found Bunny Scat, yelled Michael. It's just like what we have in Fluffy's cage. We came all the way to the Grand Canyon National Park for that, grumbled Emily. Michael's bunny makes plenty of poop at home. Good, Michael, and there's deer scat over here too, said Mom. How can you tell the difference? Asked Michael. Bunny scat looks just like little round balls, added Dad. Deer scat is shaped more like jelly beans. Here's a comparison, but remember, don't eat deer scat. Jelly beans, yes. Deer scat, no. And these are these deer tracks? Michael asked. Yes, said Mom. See how they're split? They have hooves with two parts. What are these marks? Asked Emily. She was starting to get interested. Those are from his dew claws, said Mom. They're little claws behind the hoof. Dew claws sometimes show in the deer tracks in soft ground. Lots of other animals have dew claws too, including cats and dogs. So here's the track. These are the hooves and the dew claws. And then here's a picture of a deer's foot. This is the hoof, and that's the dew claw. Oh no, said Michael. Here's one of its antlers. Did a mountain lion eat him? Michael looked around nervously. Dad bent down by the antler. No, he's fine. Deer shed their antlers every winter and then grow a new, bigger set for next year. The deer was in a hurry, though, said Mom as she studied the ground. Michael and Emily went over to look. How can you tell? The hoof prints get very far apart here, Mom explained, and the back prints are in front of the front prints. The back prints are in front of the front prints. He was walking backward, said Emily. Mom replied, no, he was galloping. Something scared him, and he was moving fast. I know what scared him, Dad called. Michael hurried over to look. What do you think scared the deer? Let's find out. This is coyote scat, Dad said. And there are coyote tracks all around here. They look like dog tracks, said Michael. That's because the coyote is a member of the dog family, explained Dad. There were a lot of coyotes around here, said Mom. See how the adults left big tracks and the pups left smaller ones? Their den is probably nearby. I'll bet they scared the deer away, Dad guessed. Did the coyotes get him? Michael asked. I don't think so, said Mom. Look, the deer are over there, and so are the coyotes. Here are some other tracks to take a look at, Dad said. They're like deer tracks, but a lot smaller and not as pointy. What are they? Emily asked. Collared peccaries, said Mom. That's a funny name. Emily giggled. What's a peccary? They're kind of like wild pigs. If you see any, don't get close. They can be mean. Sometimes peccaries are called javelinas. In Arizona, people call them that. What are these white streaks on the rocks over here? Asked Michael. That's called guano. I know what that is, Emily exclaimed. We learned about it in school. Guano is poop. Right, said Dad. Here in the Grand Canyon National Park, you can find 20 different types of bats. These aren't vampires, are they? Michael asked with a shudder. No, these bats eat bugs and fruit, said Dad. There are no vampire bats around here. I love bats because they eat all the mosquitoes. Is this more bat poop? Said Michael, looking at a tree. No, said Mom. It's from an owl. See these tracks with 2 toes pointing forward and 2 toes pointing backward? And the owl pellets around the base of the tree? Owl pellets? Said Emily. Owls eat their prey whole, explained Mom. The parts they can't digest, like hair and bones, get coughed up in a pellet, like this. Yuck, said Emily. See the owl pellet right here, and there's a skull inside. There's owl tracks. Do you have owls in your neighborhood? You can tell this was a big owl by the size of its tracks and the pellets, said Mom. The bigger the owl, the bigger the pellets. There are a bunch of different owls in the Grand Canyon National Park, said Dad. My favorite is the great horned owl. My favorite owl is the screech owl. Do you have a favorite owl? This is a funny looking track, Dad, said Michael. It has more toes than the coyote track and an extra part in the back, too. That extra pad in the back gives it away, said Dad. These are from a ringtail. Ringtail. Look at that. Emily's eyes lit up. Ringtails are cool. I love their big eyes and long tails. Do you think we'll see one? Probably not, replied Mom. Ringtails are nocturnal, which means they sleep all day. Come out at night. Look, everyone, Michael called out. These tracks have 4 toes. There must have been more coyotes. That's not a coyote track, said Dad. It doesn't show any claw marks, and the front of the big pad looks dented in. It's a bobcat track. Here's a difference between a cat track and a dog track. There's another track just like it over here, said Michael. But this one is huge. That's because the cat that made it is a lot bigger, replied Mom. You found your mountain lion sign. Let's see what you learned today, said Dad. What can you figure out about this cat? I see a bunch of scratch marks on this tree trunk, said Emily. I think it used it like a scratching post to sharpen its claws. And there's a difference between a mountain lion and a bobcat. Mountain lions are definitely much bigger than bobcats. Is this mountain lion's scat? Asked Michael. It sure is, said Dad. He tried to bury it, but the ground is too hard right here. It has bits of hair in it, just like the coyote scat, Michael pointed out. They definitely eat meat. He's awfully big, she said. That's right, Mom said. A mountain lion weighs as much as I do, and a big one can weigh more than Dad. As they ate dinner that night, everyone talked about how much fun they had. We didn't see very many animals, Emily said, but it seemed like we did. And I didn't get scared once, said Michael. What a great adventure Michael and Emily and their family had. Here's some scat and tracks of the animals mentioned in the book. I hope you enjoyed that book and learned a little bit about animals in nature. And remember, if you go out into the woods or the hills or the mountains with your family, you can find animal evidence and learn about animals just, if not more, than if you went out and saw them. So enjoy nature from a safe distance right now and have a great day. Thanks for joining us today.